exterior Skycam network in Council Grove. First of all, you'll notice the pond frozen over with the extreme cold air that's moved in. Second of all, there is light snow falling. This isn't the heavy snow yet. This is more just snow flurries. And as the evening goes on, the snow will become more heavy and it will accumulate and make for some messy roadways. Next couple of hours shouldn't be a major problem. But again, the snow is just kind of beginning to meander in this direction. There's a live look over toward Abilene from Can Drive, of course part of KDOT, but candrive.org. You can check that at any time. And as I restart that camera, you can also see some light snow beginning to fall there. That's on I-70 near exit 275. So again, not heavy yet, not covering the roads, but it will not be all that long, a few hours now before we start to get into some problems. The wind chill is already here, and this is what we had talked about with this system, was the extreme wind chill would already arrive well before the snow, so that has played out. It already feels like 10 below zero in Topeka, 16 below zero in Concordia right now, so for any of the kids that are getting on the bus to come home to the bus stop, get them inside as quick as you can. You don't want the kiddos running around outside very long in minus 10 to minus 16 wind chill, but that's what we have right now. Again, that's not a forecast or a might happen or something. That's how cold it is outside right now. So if the kiddos are coming home in the bus, just make sure to get them in as quick as you can, get them warmed up after this cold day. Here's a look at downtown Topeka, also from the Midland Exterior Skycam network, and I see a few birds flying around there. I don't see any snow flurries just yet downtown, but it will get here in a few hours. Temperatures currently are in the single digits. The wind chill is worse. Now here's the radar. Our Prairie Band Casino and Resort live storm tracker, and we're seeing snow flurries around Emporia. The snow's a little heavier just south of Abilene and near the Enterprise area. Council Grove, just showed you the camera there. Snow flurries a little heavier to the west around Whiting. It looks like the snow might be a little heavier at this point. And then zooming out, the storm is really maturing. This is just the very beginning of it. The cold air has already moved in, but the moisture and the support to create the heavier precipitation is really just developing. You can see down in Texas near Lubbock, this is part of the ice storm starting to get going, and you can also just really see there's more widespread precipitation down to the south as the energy of this thing really gets closer. And as that exits out of Texas and Oklahoma, we'll see it become more widespread and heavier up here as well. Checking out the radar closer, this is just something that I asked the Weather Service about a few minutes ago. Is this streak? Look at that, it's like a laser shooting off to the east-southeast. The radar itself is near Alma, right about there, and something is wrong with the radar. I don't know what it is, but if you're checking out the WIBW weather app or anything else, it's a malfunction of some sort, unless somebody's built a silo or something that's blocking the beam. But there's also, if you look at the radar from Jackson, Mississippi, they set up a water tower that blocks part of the radar beam. Really, if you check out the Jackson, Mississippi radar, you will see a streak similar to that that's just blocking part of the radar, and just unimaginable to me why anybody would do that. But I want to know, and I asked the Weather Service. They're going to investigate it through the NextRad Operations Center. That's all the way up to the higher ups at NOAA. I want to know right away what in the world is causing that streak coming off the radar, because I use that thing every day to keep you informed of what's up. So I will be harassing them repeatedly and nicely to find out what that is. But it's not, aliens or whatever other conspiracy somebody comes up with. But I'm going to find out what it is as soon as I possibly can. It may just be something that's malfunctioned from wear and tear over the years. I don't know. If you check out the radar and see that streak, don't be fearful. Just be mindful. And if you don't get an answer, hit me and say, hey, what's up with that? Did you find out yet? Because we need to know. All right, and it's because we want to know what's on the radar in case you have rotation downstream from that. This evening, of course, the basketball games are being played earlier today because of the snow. And if you have to be on the roads this evening for any reason, things are going to freeze over. By 9 o'clock, we will see pretty widespread snow covering some of those roadways. So if you have to travel this evening, it's going to be a mess in many spots across the state. You can see on Supercast down the south from Wichita to Oklahoma City, that snow is coming down heavier already by 10 p.m., but certainly it could be accumulating in our area as well. The snow goes on and off much of the night. Here's midnight, and those are wind chill values -10 to -20. Could be easily -20 at times. Through the late night hours, we continue with the wind chill way below zero. 9 a.m. tomorrow, still snowing. Areas like Marysville, Concordia, the snow starts to taper off, at least on the model by then. As we get through tomorrow afternoon, the snow continues here, and this will be snow that's is going to come down in different forms. You know, it shouldn't be the pretty dendrites you see on Christmas cards. You're going to see all kinds of different shaped snowflakes. A trick I like to play for fun is, you know, you have to weigh this down, but if you have a black trash bag or a black fabric of any sort, lay it outside and make sure you weigh it down, and check out, you know, on black, use black because you can see see it better. But look at the shape of the snowflakes that land on what you use. I'm gonna use a trash bag. Is what I always use because it's smooth, and then the snowflakes can lay on there easier to see. But if you get in and look really close at them, and I'll use the iPhone and take a picture and zoom in even closer, look at them. But it's going to be amazing tomorrow, the shape of some of these funky snowflakes that come down. They won't all be these pretty dendrites like Christmas cards. There'll be some really wild shapes. So tomorrow afternoon, Supercast actually shows kind of a break in the snow. That may or may not happen, but we may see a break for a couple of hours where it's not snowing. Then a second burst of energy comes in, and this one's heavier than the first one. If we do see some spots that go to that 10 or 12 inch amount of snow, it's going to happen with this second burst that really kind of fills it in. But notice we had that break in the afternoon on Saturday, and then by Sunday morning, it never really comes back up to Topeka. Emporia maybe, Marysville no. So a lot of the snow we see, this 3-4 inches, the first round, will be on the ground already by the afternoon tomorrow. If we start going higher numbers, it'll be because we see a second batch coming in to northeast Kansas. So we're high certainty of getting this first batch of snow. So here's some of these totals. There's midnight tonight. We're getting about an inch on the ground from Manhattan, Council Grove, Topeka, probably an inch by then as well. By 7 a.m. tomorrow, we got a widespread batch of 1 inch to 3 inches of snow. Now this line I have in red here is where I think we could have these higher values that are more possible. So if we see those big numbers, these double digits or something like that, it'll be south of that red line most likely. But by 7 a.m. tomorrow, already a mess to get around. Now, an inch or two of snow if the temperature is 32 degrees is one thing, okay? So an inch or two of snow on 32 degrees can be kind of slushy, you can kind of get around on it. An inch or two of snow when the temperature is 0 or 5 degrees, that's a totally different thing because it all sticks, it becomes hard packed very quickly. The road crews have a very hard time clearing that off, especially when it's still falling. So keep in mind that these numbers don't look scary as 1 inch to 3 by 7 a.m., but I'm telling you, if you try driving around on this tomorrow morning, it will not be fun. Once you get stuck, if you do, you've got a wind chill of 10 to 20 below zero to get out and try to dig your car out. You don't want to deal with that. So if you don't have to be on the roads tomorrow morning, I wouldn't. 4 p.m. tomorrow, this is high confidence of seeing this widespread 3 to 5 inches of snow by 4 p.m. tomorrow, okay? So this is round one of the snow, and this is kind of the bottom end of the possibility here. The higher ends, do we go 8, do we go 12 in some spots? That really depends on if we get that second burst that comes in tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. But certainly by 4 p.m. tomorrow, just about 25 hours from now, I'm not sure what time it is. No clock anywhere in here. I can't see a clock anywhere in here for some reason. But there's no, 24 hours and 40 minutes or so from now, we'll be looking at 3 to 5 inches of snow. And then as we go through tomorrow evening, we'll see if it continues to pile on or not. What is it? It's off. Even that one's off. Are you messing with me? 309. 309. See, I think Mitchell's trolling me over here. It's the younger generation of the thing. All right, so here's what we have for possible snow. This is if we get that bigger amount that comes in on Sunday night as well, or Saturday night as well, as we start to get these areas to Emporia, Burlington at this 8 or 10. The chance Topeka getting an 8 or a 10 is low, very low. The farther north you go, the number is going to be lower. But these areas in purple, certainly if that second round of snow comes in and does what it could do, then that's where the potential of the bigger numbers come in. Make sure you have the WIBW weather app if you don't already. As we get through tornado season, it'll be even more important so we can get updates out to you and let you know what's going on. Sometimes we get tornado watches and those kind of things that go on for hours and hours. We can let you know where stuff's developing, give you a heads up that something is getting more serious even before the warnings start to get issued, and give you more of a heads up. We try to do that as much as we can. All right, in this extreme cold, even if it doesn't snow very much, which it is going to snow quite a bit, but make sure you're protecting your pets. Fido needs fresh water. The penguin's fine. They don't mind this kind of weather. But in Antarctica, it's also summer, and that's where they are, of course, from the wrong hemisphere for the penguins. But make sure the dogs have got a dry blanket, straw, cats too, Wookie, whatever pet you have has to be outside. Make sure they are protected. Access to unfrozen water. The water's going to freeze very quickly with this kind of temperature. Give them bigger meal sizes. Bring them inside if possible. A lot of people bring the pets in, if they have an outdoor dog or cat, they bring them in just a couple of times a year when it's really cold. So go ahead and look them in the eye, think about how cold it is outside, and make this one of those couple times a year where you do it, because the wind chill right now is already minus 16 in Concordia. We don't see minus 16 as a wind chill more than maybe 3 times a year, so this is the coldest weather we're probably going to see. The winter storm warning continues from this evening all the way through Saturday night. All these areas in pink are officially in winter storm warning, with the Weather Service officially saying 4 to 8 inches of snow in those areas, mentioning up to 10 in some spots. Wind chill as cold as minus 20. This purple streak along the Nebraska state line, that is a winter weather advisory. Now, down south, this is even worse. This potential for seeing a foot of snow or more is really from near Lubbock through Oklahoma City, Tulsa, up to Springfield, Missouri, Poplar Bluff. I have some friends and family there. My mom's in Dexter, so I've been calling and checking in on her a lot. I made sure that she and my stepdad got everything they need, that they're not going to be out driving around in this. I don't want to worry about mom out in the storm while I'm trying to cover the storm over here. So I make sure that she's prepped and in. They're good. They got all the medications. Everybody's all right, but they're going to stay inside and hopefully watch. They'll be watching Grant Dale over on, is Grant Dale right? Is that his KFVS? Grant Dade, that's him, KFVS. He's the chief meteorologist with a Gray TV station, the part of the weather, part of the Gray TV family. So they watch him over there in KFVS for storm coverage, of course, and then I call them individually. But this is an ice or more of sleet and ice glaze. The ice glaze is where you have the raindrops come down as liquid and then freeze after they make contact. Sleet pellets are where it comes down and freezes into an ice ball before it hits the ground, and that's hard to drive on, but it's not terrible. If it comes down as a glaze, if it comes down as water and then freezes after making contact, that's when you get that glaze, that clear coating of ice on things that makes driving almost impossible at times, and it creates a lot of weight on tree branches, power lines, and that's what causes power outages. If we get an area this big, and I only put on there areas that are at least an inch or more showing up on the computer model of ice glaze. There are areas of a ½ inch that go out farther. I just put in the worst of it. That's a very big area for that. There's also some of that in Georgia, up into North Carolina, and even into Virginia. So that could be an absolute disaster for some very big areas. So we have first alert weather day today. And for tomorrow, we'll have the snow really settling in later this evening and tonight. 3-4 inches, likely by 4 p.m. tomorrow for most of us. Another burst of snow is possible tomorrow night. If the second burst comes in tomorrow night and Sunday morning, that's where we start to get some of the bigger numbers. Either way, the temperature is extremely cold. Check out Monday morning. That's a low of -7, and the wind chill Monday morning easily 10 below zero or worse. I'll see you on 13 News at 4.